We're here back in the Fantasy Bar with our final NFL six-pack of the season. 19 weeks has come to a head. 6 of my favorite plays for you in the divisional round, including some of my favorite values and mid-range plays. We'll give you some correlation. Some guys I think won't garner much ownership, and a beast of the week who absolutely dominated his opponent last time out. Who we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Divisional round and final NFL six-pack of the season. Appreciate you guys stopping by the Fantasy Bar. 6 of my favorite plays ready for you on FanDuel and DraftKings for this playoff weekend. Now, before we get into those plays, I want to take a second and say thank you to everybody out there for all the comments, the thumbs up, the viewership, the tweets, everything. I appreciate it. Love doing these videos. Hopefully, you guys made some money and enjoyed the content here in the Fantasy Bar. And a quick shout out to the team over at RotoGrinders for all of their hard work behind the scenes, especially my boy Steven for all his producing of these videos. Just a big thank you to everybody. But let's end the season with a bang. Before we get there, let's hit that thumbs up button. Let's end the season with a big number there. Appreciate that. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content. All right, let's dive in. 6 plays for you here in these 4 games. Let's start at the running back position with David Montgomery of Detroit. So I already hear and a lot of people out there, Jahmyr Gibbs, no doubt a fantastic play this weekend, but likely going to be 50% owned. I'm still going to have some Jahmyr Gibbs, but let's not forget about David Montgomery, especially over on FanDuel, who really dropped the ball here. He is listed as $4,000 for this weekend, so we'll see much more ownership over there. But even over on DraftKings at just $5,700, I really like this spot. You add up the Jahmyr Gibbs hype and excitement coming off a massive game last week. Worries about limitations here with David Montgomery should have him very low owned in this game. Is there anything more Dan Campbell in Detroit like? Let's get this guy in the end zone. Was told his season was over. Found second, third, fourth opinions on this injury, and he is back practicing in full. So I think he finds his way in the end zone. Vegas agrees. Lines as high as minus 225 on this guy to score a touchdown. And the Lions in a great position to dominate here on the ground as 9.5-point home favorites. I don't even hate the pairing of Gibbs and Montgomery in these same lineups. So don't take this as me telling you not to play Jahmyr Gibbs. Telling you don't forget about David Montgomery here. Washington, bottom 5 in both rushing yards and that rushing touchdown stat we talked about this season. Good spot here and potential very low ownership on DraftKings and a crazy $4,000 price over on FanDuel. All right, Detroit projected to score a ton of points. Let's add another piece at wide receiver with Jameson Williams. So 32.5-point team total here for the Lions. What does that mean? You know what it means. The Lions, lots of ways to get it done here and lots of guys with huge ceiling upside. A lot of people excited about Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let's not forget about Jameson Williams here either. 4 games this season of 24 or more DraftKings points. So you love the ceiling that he can provide at these prices. 2 of those games came over the last 3 weeks alone. His role just continues to grow in this offense. 7 or more targets now in 6 of the last 7 games. With all the focus here for Washington on likely stopping the running game, keeping Amon-Ra St. Brown under wraps should put Williams in some great spots for those home run plays here in the divisional round. All right, to the tight end position next with some value. We're going to run it back with Isaiah Likely. So as of this recording, Zay Flowers has still not practiced for the Baltimore Ravens, so looking more and more like he's going to miss another game here in the divisional round, which puts us right back here on Isaiah Likely. We had him last week, didn't blow it out of the water here, but the Ravens only had to throw the ball 21 times in that game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, dominated on the ground. So I think we're going to see a lot more passing attempts here in a potentially much higher scoring game with the Buffalo Bills, and it was Likely that led the way even with those 21 pass attempts with 53 receiving yards in that game. Now, Buffalo very vulnerable on the ground, but they struggled against the tight end position here as well through the air. Bottom half of the league in receptions, touchdowns, and fantasy points allowed to this position, checking in probably sub 10% ownership, going right back to the well here in a potential shootout with Isaiah Likely. All right, we like Isaiah Likely. Let's pair him up with my favorite quarterback in Lamar Jackson. So with only 8 teams left, some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL on the slate, and I think Lamar Jackson could fall through the cracks here, seeing a lot of early ownership on Jaden Daniels, even Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen going to garner some ownership. So Lamar Jackson at potentially lower ownership than what I think he should be in this game. Plus the stacking options here. We gave you Isaiah Likely. If Flowers is out, Andrews in play. Bateman in play, Aguilar in play, hell, Justice Hill in play. A lot of ways that you can go with this offense, or even run Lamar Jackson out there naked with his rushing ability. And this guy has just been incredible this season. One of the MVP favorites, if not the winner. 21 or more DraftKings points in 16 of his 18 games. 5 games this season with at least 29 DraftKings points. Everybody knows by now Buffalo been awful against the run. I think that's going to lead to increased ownership for Derrick Henry, which I don't mind. Obviously in a great spot, but if it's going to lower the ownership on the passing game here and Lamar Jackson, let's not forget Buffalo, 10th most passing yards allowed and the 8th most passing touchdowns allowed as well. Lamar Jackson, my favorite quarterback here for this round. All right, back to the wide receiver position with some value in Hollywood Brown of Kansas City. So another ownership play here. Travis Kelce, likely the highest owned tight end. Xavier Worthy going to be highly owned at the wide receiver position. And those guys going to be the Chiefs that a lot of people click into their lineups. Let's not forget about Hollywood Brown here, who brings a big-time ceiling to the table at a $4,200 price point on DraftKings and just $6,000 on FanDuel. Injured most of the season, but returned and was a big part of the Chiefs passing game. Averaged 7.5 targets in those 2 games. Texans, 21 receiving touchdowns allowed, was the second most in the league. And with the defensive focus on stopping Kelce and Worthy, should put Brown in some advantageous spots like we talked about with Jameson Williams. Texans also allowed the 8th most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. I think Brown catches a long touchdown this week and easily pays off this cheap price tag. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for this divisional round. Before we do that, let's continue and finish up our Beast of the Week contest. Easy to play. Make sure you click that thumbs up button and head to the comment section and guess fantasy points for my Beast of the Week. Whoever's guess is the closest on DraftKings, you're going to win a free month of RotoGrinders Premium or Scores and Odds Premium as we head into the final weekends of the NFL season and the Super Bowl. Great time to lock in a free month of RotoGrinders or Scores and Odds Premium. All right, let's wrap it up this week and this season with my favorite play for this weekend. You know him as the Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. We owe you one more running back. Lots of enticing options here, but we are rolling with Squan Barkley of Philadelphia, this week's Beast of the Week. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, the list goes on and on here at the running back position. Lots of ways to go, but Barkley, the guy I really want to get on here this weekend. We talked about Jahmyr Gibbs potentially being 50% or higher owned in tournaments this weekend. I think you get Barkley at about half of that ownership. Go back to week 12, the last time these two teams played. And we're not expecting numbers like this, but he put up over 300 total yards in that game, 2 touchdowns, over 49 DraftKings points in that spot against the Rams. And this has been a staple of Squan Barkley's season, are these massive games. 7 games this season of 29 or more DraftKings points. The Rams, 135 total yards per game, 2 running backs. Love the spot here for Squan Barkley. Easily my favorite play on the board in this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that'll wrap us up here for the division round and for this NFL season. As always, any comments, questions, or feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, your guess, Squan Barkley's DraftKings points output for a shot to win a free month of RotoGrinders or Scores and Odds Premium. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching and for another great season here in the Fantasy Bar. But we're not going anywhere. We'll continue to crank out NBA videos, so keep an eye out on that. Thank you again for all the support, all the thumbs up, all the tweets. Appreciate each and every one of you. Good luck this weekend. Go win some money, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for checking out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more DraftKings, FanDuel, and other DFS content. And you can check out our daily live show schedule on RotoGrinders.com/videos.